Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, back once again with my co-commentator, as always, Malk. How are you doing?
You're alright, Tim. I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
Well, the penultimate race of the season is upon us. Brazil, 12-lap sprint race, 36-lap feature race, and, well, all but one driver is pretty much conceded in the championship.
Oh, I was going to say, there's quite a few drivers who are still within the championship, as I said, fight. Never heard of that before. Championship fight as well, not only for the drivers, but also the constructors. The constructors could be a possibility. I'm just saying could be a possibility that it could be wrapped up, but you never know in F1. We've seen many years. I say years. I've seen it. We've seen it many seasons, Tim. That we've seen 4 drivers batting out for the Drivers' Championship, and anything could go down to the wire. It just all depends on how everything is planned out this evening.
Yeah, and excuse me there, but yes, and of course, mathematically, there are plenty of drivers that are still in contention for this Drivers' Championship. But if you remember last week when we were talking to Cameron, he actually said that he's, more or less given up hope of winning this championship. Of course, he's going to go out there and give it his all, but he is sitting in third place with 247 points. That is to Rudo's 284. So that is the leader of the driver standings going into the Brazilian Grand Prix. MDJ, who was very dominant in the early season, finds himself in second with 250 points. So regardless, a very close battle between second and third there, 3 points separating them going into this sprint race. But it is a 24 point gap from Rudo to MDJ. And of course, you mentioned the constructors, and that is a little bit of a closer battle, I suppose that you could say, or at least it was a few weeks ago. But now that we look at it, it's 513 points to 438. Of course, quick finishers in first, Andrea Moda in second place. So Rudo 24 and Bruce Lee Harding, quick finishers in first. And then Andrea Moda, that is Cameron Searle, and ARL 33. Of course, ARL being a former champion of this division, I'd say that really he is a little bit sort of miffed, I guess you could say, because you know that they were going to go out there and try to get that constructor standings championship, but 513 to 438, like you said, mathematically it might still be there, but it is not as close as it was just a couple of weeks ago.
Not as close, but again, anything could happen. I think the constructors will be wrapped up tonight. I think it might be wrapped up, depending on how Rudo and Bruce can do against Cameron and ARL, who will not give up this fight. They will not give up this fight at all, and just hope for the best to have an absolute classic. Just waiting to see what's going to happen at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and we're looking forward to it. I've got the points for the driver standings at the moment, so we've still got 5 drivers, Tim. Obviously, I've put Nitro in because he was in 5th place at the moment, but he's still got, mathematically, he's still got a chance, but he's got to do basically 35 points at least for each race, just and hope that Rudo does not score any points in the next 2, which is very rare. But it could happen. But then also you got Bruce, who got a slight chance, but as soon as Rudo's got 15 points or more, that's it. His championship hopes are gone. But you are right. It is to do with the 3 drivers who are going to be battling out, and it's going to be really close. And I hope we get it down to the final race of the season. I really do hope so. But it could, depending on how Rudo and Cameron and also MDJ does it this evening, anything could happen at the Brazilian Grand Prix, Tim.
It certainly can, as we await the start of our sprint race. Now remember, the top 8 drivers will be able to score points in this sprint race, so this is a very important opportunity to try and score a few points that can really help you in that championship. 24 points between Rudo 24 and MDJ, and then of course Cameron Searle just 3 points behind MDJ in third. And that's really not that big of a gap, especially when you factor in the fact that you can not only get points in a sprint race, but you can also score points outside of the top 10 as long as you finish the race, and more on that in a moment. But Cameron, like we were saying last week, just seems like, maybe the hope of winning that championship is a little bit far out there, but when you look at the numbers, it's really not that much. So I believe that is a 27-point gap between Rudo and Cameron. So take in sprint race and features, he's at least got a fighting shot. But like you said, Rudo has been very consistent, and it might not matter what Cameron does if Rudo keeps getting consistent finishes like he's been doing.
I think the way Rudo has been doing this season has just been unstoppable, shall we say. It's just been an absolute best that he needed to be. Considering he's only missed one race, and that was the Austrian Grand Prix in round 4, he has been pretty much, majority of the time, or at least half of the time, has been over the 20-point marker or 25-point marker, and that's what you need to be consistent of. With MDJ and Cameron, I did say to Cameron last week, before we start, the last 2 races before the Australian Grand Prix, that's where I think he'll lose the title. That's what's cost him the title. I'm hoping that's not going to be, but we never know what's going to happen. So, Tim, no formation lap. Let's go straight into the sprint.
And a 12-lap sprint race here in Brazil, then a 36-lap feature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and then no red lights. We are green for our sprint race for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Already a big start for Joe Hamster, and what's going on, Malk?
There's going to be a couple of two-in-a-bed moments, and there's a little bit of contact from one of the Williams drivers just watching. I think that might be Cameron. Cameron going side-by-side with Nigel Gash. We've got a battle between MDJ and Speed Queen down into turn 3. Into turn 4. And then coming up to turn 5, they've got to be careful. And look at Speed Queen now. Speed Queen's going to go side-by-side with MDJ, and what a move! But MDJ is going to keep on the inside line, and they kept it perfectly. MDJ's got the inside line. But Speed Queen, beautiful move. She kept it in 6th, Tim.
Meanwhile, watching a battle between Cameron here, Nitro Gash and ARL just in front of Cameron, one of our championship contenders. ARL in 8th place, Nitro Gash in 9th. There was some contact between those two cars. Cameron trying to play it safe in P10. Remember, the top 8 scoring points in this sprint race, so he needs to get up there in that top 8, but he's got 12 laps to do it, and he's not going to do that if he gets wrecked on lap 1.
Absolutely not. Well, absolutely. And Nigel Gash goes ahead of Rudo. ARL goes ahead of Nigel Gash. Speed Queen into 5th now. ARL moves up to 8th now. ARL moves up. Rudo's dropped down to 11. Rudo has dropped himself down to 11th. So this is where the pressure is absolutely mounted now. Because Cameron's moves up to 9th now. These guys, Cameron and MDJ, they've got to put their socks up now. They've got to get within the top 2 in this sprint to stand any chance to get close to the gap of Rudo, Tim.
Yeah, that would be very important for them. Not sure what's going on with Rudo. Now he's battling with ARL. Rudo on the outside in the AlphaTauri goes to the inside there after the quarter switches. And the ARL, he's off in the Williams. What's happened there?
There was contact from one of the drivers just behind. I'm not sure who that was, but that's cost ARL all the way down to 18th place at the back of the grid, Tim.
So not looking good for Andrea Moda already here in the sprint race. And then we got a battle for 5th place, or 4th rather, between Speed Queen 80 in 4th and now Mercked in the 5th position. Speed Queen 80, the only driver going on the soft tires. Joe Hamster putting in another fast lap at 111.
3 to bed. We got a 3 to bed moment now on turn 1. Oh, brilliant. Oh, what's happened there?
Oh, the Ferrari spun. The Ferrari of Sir Spud. He spun around. P17, P18 now.
Crash at turn 2. That is absolutely unbelievable stuff, Tim. Absolutely unbelievable. Cameron drops them all the way down. And I don't know who that was. I think that was MDJ as well. The 2 drivers who were trying to battle it out with Rudo. That is not good news for them. And I think that was Debris as well, Tim.
The
Did we
Red
as
Sea
well?
quite literally parted for Rudo as 2 championship contenders now out of the points for the sprint race. And to make matters worse for them and better for him, he's in P6, enough to score a few points just to take it away. Wow, that is insane. So Rudo trying to hang on for this championship with just 2 races to go, and it's looking ever so more likely.
It is got one hand on it now. He's one hand on it now. But Cameron goes up ahead of Nitrogash. MDJ moves up ahead of Spud. But Spud's getting close. And the yellow flags. Spud's retired. Spud has retired. Passes lap for Speed Queen. And we've got a safety car, Tim.
It is a safety car, Mount. That is very important for Cameron and MDJ as well. So I think that we're going to see them pit here. Yes, we are. So what tires are they going to go on? Surely the soft tires, right? I mean, the soft should last about 10 laps around here, give or take. So they've got plenty of time. Cug goes on the soft tires. Cameron Searle, let's see if he's got any wing damage on that Williams. He does. They are taking the front wing off there, I believe. No, they weren't. So he didn't have wing damage, but he spun around. So Cameron gets a set of soft tires. MDJ, okay, he did have some wing damage, and he goes on the medium tires. Oh, wow. MDJ really stuck in the pits here.
Is MDJ stuck in the pits? Oh, no, he's coming out now. He's on the fresh mediums. Is that correct, Tim?
Yes, it is. And that might have been a little bit of a communication issue there between us and MDJ, but yes, he is on the fresh medium tires now. Cameron Searle on a fresh set of softs. So maybe, just maybe, they have got a chance. Slightly fresher tires than Rudo. 3-lap difference. It's not much, but it is a little bit. And of course, on the faster compound tire, expect Cameron and MDJ to be storming through this field. It could get pretty dicey here soon.
It definitely dicey. And good evening to Spud, who's just said, good evening, lads. He says, yeah, he hit me. What actually happened, Spud, if you don't mind me asking on the chat? We'll try our best to mention that. Speed Queen's got herself into the pits now, so I'm guessing she'll go on for the fresh softs again, you would think. I might be wrong, but Mikey's also in the pits now. So, yeah, so Speed Queen got herself in fresh softs. Mikey also in fresh softs, Tim.
I find it interesting that Speed Queen wanted to pit for a fresh set of softs, because now she is all the way back in 12th place, and I really find it, I think she's going to be hard-pressed to really get back up there and challenge for even a top 3 position in this race, unless, of course, a fresh set of soft tires is just that powerful around here. And I guess that this is a really good practice session of sorts for these drivers to really figure this out for the feature race. If it doesn't work, then they know what not to do.
Well, absolutely. I think because Speed Queen already done like 4 or 5 laps, by the time the safety car would have been finished, the softs would have been at the limiter, would have been gone, I'd say. I know you said 10 laps doable, but I think the way she planned it is make sure she gets some fresh softs and try and get into like the top 8. That's her aim, try and get herself into the top 8. And it can be doable depending on when the safety car is going to come in. I think it might be coming in on the next, probably about the next lap or so, Tim.
And it looks like most of the cars are lined up, but yes, the safety car is going to stay out for at least one more lap. We got a couple of stragglers back there, MDJ and Nitro Gash. So that's going to be about 6 laps, or 5 laps actually, to the finish. That's not going to be a lot of time for those soft tire runners to find their way through the field. And also, you know, the more time that we spend under this safety car, the less time they have, and the less advantage they're going to have against these medium tire guys, because this is pretty much just giving their tires a break.
Absolutely, and I think with everything going on, Tim, I think the medium drivers are just trying their best to hold on. I mean, fair play to Joe. Fair play to Joe for holding on in first, and then you got Bruce, who also in the top 4 in the driver standings, has got a chance. But remember, Bruce and Rudo, both teammates, they have definitely got points. So at the moment, 7, 6, 5, 4. So they've got 11 points already for the constructors. So anything could happen. It might be that the constructors could be sealed the way it looks. And I just can't see how Rudo can be stopped tonight, if depending on that. There will be inquiries though, Tim. There will be inquiries at turn 2 between Cameron and, well, I don't know what happened between Cameron and DJ at turn 2, because I was watching in one of the cars and they were completely spun off and there was a massive crash just behind it, so that might have to be checked by stewards late afterwards. So the safety car will be this lap, Tim.
All right, so already things getting a little heated here just in the sprint race. Riding on board with Bruce Lee Harding now in P2, but Joe Hamster is the control car, gets to decide when we go back racing as long as it's before the start-finish line. He's going to try to bunch this field up and then catch him sleeping, and he wants to win this sprint race, start on pole for the feature. Swerving, trying to get some heat in his tires, and he is just, well, he's not ready yet, but everyone else is.
I think he'll go just after the pit entry. And I will not be surprised if he goes now. He'll go now, Tim. We're back live racing.
Joe Hamster about 0.3 of a second over Bruce Lee Harding. Not the best of starts, but he hangs on to the lead. Ginger Tiger making a move. P3 right now for him. Merton P4. They were side by side into turn one. We got a spinner behind him. Who is that?
Owen has spun. At turn two. I don't know. I could not catch if there was any contact, but he was bailing out. He was bailing out with another driver, and he did everything he could. But unfortunately for Owen, he will be spinning out and trying to get himself back onto the racing as quickly as possible, Tim.
So Cassidy and Rudo had a side-by-side battle there for just a moment. Rudo backed out of it. He's in P6. Cassidy in the 5th position, working on Merton the Aston Martin.
ARL's gone off track. He's got himself back down to 15. Sorry, Tim.
So Rudo, almost some contact between him and Keza, or at least it looked like there might have, or almost was, all the same. No contact, they keep it clean, we stay green. Keza running in the 7th position, and of course, Daryl W. back there in 8th, the final spot for that points-paying position here in this sprint race. SFR Martin putting a little bit of pressure on his gearbox.
And what's pressure in a minute is SFR Martin in 9th, Speed Queen in 10th. You got Cameron in 11th. Oh my God! 2 in the bed moment now! Brilliant move there from Speed Queen. She makes the move, and MDJ's out. MDJ has retired from the session, Tim.
So a yellow flag in Sector 1, no safety car, so we're going to stay green. Not sure what's happened there, or did he retire in the pits? Looks like he actually did, so that's a shame for MDJ, but there was a car that I think went off track in turn 1. That was the Alpha Tauri of Owen, maybe again, or was it ARL?
I think that might have been ARL, but while you're watching that, Tim, there's a great battle. Look at Speed Queen. She went from 12th all the way to 9th, same with Cameron. Cameron's following Speed Queen with those fresh softs, Tim.
Yeah, I've been watching Cameron trying to make his way up through the field, and you know, I think that we're going to see him maybe get up there in 8th or 7th, somewhere around there. He's going to pick up a few points, but Rudo is still gaining on him, and that's what he does not need right now. So he still needs to get anything that he can, but this sprint race is not looking like the little boost that he really needed. But there's more points available in the feature anyway, so get a decent run in the sprint, challenge your competitor in the feature, and, well, hang on for dear life next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in for a roller coaster ride. And want to know what's another roller coaster ride? Because Keza and Daryl go side into turn 4. Turn 5, remember, there's been people who've lost their back ends and hit the wall. So luckily they're not happening again this evening. But you never know what's going to happen. Daryl is under a lot of pressure from Speed Queen, and Keza is trying to hold on. There is a train, a choo-choo train from Ginger Tiger downwards, Tim.
Yeah, Ginger Tiger, our defending champion from last year. Not the season he's been wanting, but having a good sprint race so far, P3. And of course, if he finishes in 3rd in the sprint, then he will have a 3rd place starting spot for that feature race. So that track position can really pay dividends if he's able to hang on to it and keep it. But like you said, right now, he is just the conductor of sorts of this very long train of cars. So that would actually indicate that maybe he's not got as much speed as the guys behind him. And we got Rudo trying to make a move on Cassidy. Thought better of it, maybe. Oh, Cassidy got a little loose there. That puts Rudo on the outside, and he makes the move. So Rudo outside of turn 2, then the inside of turn 3, got that move done over Cassidy, puts himself into 5th place. Merck had a look going into the corner on Ginger Tiger, thought better of it, so 0.2 of a second between them and 0.3 of a second between Joe Hamster and Bruce Lee Harding. There's been no change up there thus far. Going back now to P9, taking a look at Cameron Searle, who is right on the back of Daryl, and not only does Daryl have a time penalty, but now that Cameron goes around him, he is in that points-paying position, so at least a 1 point going to Cameron Searle today in the sprint race.
Yeah, but he needs to be a lot more than that. He needs to be a lot more than that. But Speed Queen really lost out to Daryl. A little bit of contact, but Speed Queen just go ahead into 9th. Daryl struggling, and also with a penalty as well. That is not good news for Daryl. He'll drop himself down like a domino effect. But, oh my God, Cameron! Cameron going to try and go on the inside line on Keza. Keza, 2 in the bed. We've got a 2 in the bed moment. Both of them got DRS. Who's going to be blinking at turn 1? And it looks like Cameron's made the move. Cameron has made the move into turn 1, and what a move indeed. And Mercked do not want to get Mercked at all. Why didn't Tiger?
Yeah, and Malk, I think that Rudo knows that Cameron Searle is on a hard charge toward him because he is really putting a lot of pressure on Ginger Tiger here in the 4th position. Rudo in 5th and Cameron Searle all the way back to 7th, but with 2 laps to go, Cameron actually has got a chance to overtake Rudo in this sprint race. I mean, maybe it's few and far between. He's got Cassidy between them. Oh, almost some contact there between them, but they keep it clean. But look at Ginger Tiger really holding up these cars. That has brought Cameron right to Cassidy and Rudo, and that's what he needs for this final lap charge. With those fresh, soft, or, well, fresher soft tires than the mediums, maybe he's got just a little bit of speed left in him to go for a challenge.
Absolutely. It looks like Owen has retired in the pits. Kerr has made a massive spin after turn 10 of the hairpin. Oh my God, Rudo needs to make the move onto Ginger Tiger because he knows, as you rightly said, Cameron is on a charge. Rudo has moved up to 4th. Ginger Tiger drops down to 5th after turn 1 into turn 2. And this is where we're on a roller coaster ride now. Come on! We might have a 3-minute moment now! Come on! Oh no! We got a 2-minute moment now at turn 3, 4. And now it's a turn 5 now. Cameron makes a move from the inside line. Oh my God, what a move! What an unbelievable move there from Cameron.
Cameron trying to pick everything up that he can underneath Cassidy. Can't make the move stick though. Cassidy shuts the door on him. Final lap of the sprint race, Joe Hamster leads over Bruce Lee Harding, but right now you are watching a battle between Rudo, Cassidy, and Cameron Searle. Rudo and Cameron of which are in a battle for this Drivers' Championship, and has something happened to Cameron? No, Cameron is still okay. He's not going to be able to get by Rudo, but finishing within 2 positions of Rudo, that is a fantastic recovery from Cameron if he can hang on. Going to Joe Hamster, who is going to cross the line in 1st. P1 on the sprint, P1 start for the feature. Bruce Lee Harding, 2nd place, Mercked in 3rd. Rudo finds his way to 4th, Cassidy in 5th, and then Cameron in 6th. Really a fantastic recovery from Cameron, and I noticed he had a lot of speed around those tires being 4 to 6 laps old. So if we have any drivers pit for the soft tires, it just seems, at least for Cameron's sake, that sweet spot for him, once he gets enough heat built up in those tires, seems to be about 4 to 6 laps into the run.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where anything could happen with the tyre wear situation. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no softs during the race at all, unless it's like near the end itself, but I would not be surprised anyway, Tim. But I'll let you do the honours for the sprint classification.
And Joe Hamster, P1 on the sprint. Bruce Lee Harding in 2nd place, then Mercked in 3rd, Rudo in 4th, Cassidy in 5th, Cameron Searle in 6th, 7th is Ginger Tiger, Keza in 8th, 9th is Mikey Martin in 10th, 11th is ARL Nitro Gash in 12th, 13th is Speed Queen 80, 14th is Cuff, 15th is Daryl, 16th is Owen, MDJ in 17th, 18th is Sir Spud. 18 drivers going to be taking the green flag here for 36 laps in Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're looking forward to it, Tim. We're absolutely looking forward to it. I'm just going to do the calculations for you quickly as it stands. So, obviously, I said at the start, Nigel Gash, for fifth place, had a mathematical chance. Unfortunately for him, he is out of the Drivers' Championship. He is out of the Drivers' Championship. because of outside the points, and because Ruddo did get more than 1 point, he is out of the Drivers' Championship, unfortunately. So it's down to 4 drivers. And at the moment, Ruddo, 289. I say that again, 289. MDJ and Cameron both on 250 now. Bruce, 236. This is where everything matters. At the moment, the maximum you can get from a sprint and the feature altogether is about 35, 36 points. And at the moment, it's 39 between Ruddo and the 2 contenders that we are seeing at the minute. That, if Ruddo keeps it over 36 points, he is the Drivers' Championship this evening. But that is a big mathematical choice, depending on how he does in the race. Same with MDJ, who's going to be a right struggle at the back, and Cameron, who might have a slight chance to hopefully make it to the final end of the season, Tim.
Yeah, and you know, don't you just love when these championship battles always come down to the wire? And it seems like Brazil in the past is really, not trying to put the cart before the horse or put a commentator's curse on the drivers or whatever analogy or phrase that you want to say. But Brazil in Invictus has sort of been a little bit infamous, at least in my memory, for having a little bit of drama happen when there are championships on the line. A few seasons ago, I remember that there was a competitor who it seemed like it was almost a shoe-in. I don't remember the names, unfortunately, but I do remember a competitor being a shoe-in almost for the championship until they wrecked. 0 points, and it went down to the wire in Abu Dhabi.
It went down to, I remember that actually, it went right down to the Abu Dhabi situation. And I mean, for us
that
commentators,
ARL's championship? Or am I completely wrong on that one?
I think it might be. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to double check on the historical stuff. But I know ARL won the championship, but I just can't remember if he did it on his own town Grand Prix or was that somewhere else. I can't remember. But ARL says, just keeps getting away from us. And Keza says, evening lads, hope you liked a few of my overtakes for once and not crashing. Don't jinx yourself, mate. Do not jinx yourself. We're back for the feature, 36 laps. Can Ruddo win the Drivers' Championship this evening? Tim, over to you.
Well, we're going to find out, and what a thrilling race this is going to be. No formation lap, straight into the race. The drivers, they are on the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights, and we are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Brazilian Grand Prix. And wow, a car almost in the wall there. Was that Cameron going very, very low to the inside, trying to make up some spots into turn number 1. Joe Hamster has a good start over Bruce Lee Harding. Gonna go take a look at Casty here in P3. He got over Rudo and Mert.
Crash! Keza and Cameron have had a bit of a collision, and Keza's out, and we've got our first safety car of the evening. Cameron at the back of the grid, Tim.
Oh my goodness, so Malk, you're going to have to walk me through what happened there. It is a safety car like you said, so that does help Cameron, but being all the way back in 17th place, what's he going to do here? Assuming he doesn't have any damage, do you pit and get your mandatory 2 compounds out of the way, go to the hard tires, then go back to the mediums later, or just what do you do in this situation?
Oh, I don't know what. To be honest, he's got 2 minds. He's probably going all over the place this evening. Oh God. To be honest, the hards can go all the way to the end, but it can be damaging. So I would not be surprised if he gambles to go on the hards. But for me personally, he's got no damage from what I could see. I would just keep on the mediums because he is getting quick. He is quick. He is quick on the mediums. He was quick on the softs when he was battling out with Speed Queen, but I would not be surprised if Cameron keeps on the mediums, Tim.
Well, we'll see what he does here, and he does go into the pit. So that might indicate that he does have a little bit. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh my goodness, Malcolm, and you cannot get rid of that until your next pit stop. So that's not what we needed here. So Wondering what we're going to see here from Cameron. Goes on to the soft
Oh, it
tires.
was wing damage. He changed his wing, Tim. He has changed his wing. Oh, he's on the softs. He's on the softs, Tim. I'm very surprised at that, to be honest. But he'll be hoping for another safety car. He'll be hoping for another safety car after 10 laps, and then he'll go on to the hards to go all the way to the end, or maybe the mediums to go all the way to the end. But Keza, unfortunately for him, he had the DNF. He did the commentator's curse on himself, Tim. He did the commentator's curse on himself. Because he said, I hope you like the overtakes and not crashing. And what did he do, Tim? What did he do? He crashed at lap 1, Tim.
Yeah, and that is a shame for Keza. But let's talk about Cameron Malk. This is crazy. So he has the spin on the first lap, involved with the wreck with Keza, goes into the pits because he has wing damage, changes the front wing, goes on the soft tires. Now, both of those I can understand, but he was already in last place, and he was not at risk of losing a lap, I don't believe. I don't know why he pushed it going into the pits. And you know he's kicking himself, but that's a 5-second time penalty, and that might have just been the championship right there.
To be honest, he was quick though, Tim. He was really quick on the softs.
Oh, here we go. I think he's serving that time penalty now.
You can't serve him while you're in the safety car. You can't serve the penalty when you're in the safety car, can you?
Well, he might be trying it. Regardless, let's see what he's doing.
You can't serve that, I don't think. No, he's still got it. I mean, I'll
No, he just served it. He just served the penalty.
Served it. Oh, okay. I do apologise for that. Normally, I thought always the drive. I'm sorry, Tim. I just realised it's the drive-through. I thought it was certain penalties, like most penalties, that you can't serve during the safety car. I do apologise, guys. Whoever's watching the stream back. If you like what you've seen so far, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help. I say again, it will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim on the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League. Hit that like button, guys. Please hit that like button. But again, I do apologise. I honestly thought that you can't serve the penalties until you've done after the safety car stint, but obviously you can. And safety car's in this lap as well.
Yeah,
Tim.
and Cameron, that's a 2,000 IQ move.
That's
and
clever.
I'm a little bit ashamed that I didn't think of that, Malk.
Yeah, to be honest, that's clever from Cameron because he can go on the softs and he went back in to go on the hards, on fresh hards, and now he can challenge to try and get ahead of Spud. But look at Joe Amster now. Will he try and do what he did earlier on?
Well, let's see how this is going to go. Oh, he goes earlier. He goes earlier, Malk, and now it is 0.4 of a second between the two drivers. So a 1/10 of a second better start this time for Joe Hamster over Bruce Lee Harding. And now we've got side-by-side Rudo going to P3, Cassidy in the 4th position, Rudo in the Alpha Tauri, Cassidy in the Alfa Romeo, the two Alpha battles, and look at the Aston Martin. So the Triple A's going down the straightaway, and oh my goodness, Merck might get 2-1 here, almost some contact. Rudo backs out of it.
He's not, he's holding on in turn 5. He's dropped down now, Tim. Yeah, he's dropped down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, he had to hang on if he had some room there, right? But Rudo knows what he's fighting for. He knows that he doesn't have to push too hard. He just can't get complacent. So letting Merck go right now, knowing that Rudo might have a faster car later on in the race, it's a very smart move. You know, you can race, you can compete, but don't take any unnecessary risks, especially this early on.
Absolutely. It's very, it's just unbelievable stuff now. Yellow flags, it is 2 and 3. I think that's Kerr. Kerr has lost out after turn 11. Joe Amster was the fastest lap. Bruce Lee, 1:12.370 is the fastest lap of this race. I mean, we haven't mentioned much on Joe Amster. He could get the quadruple. Well, it's not quadruple. He could get the the hat-trick at least. But while we were mentioning about
Oh,
our
Cameron's off the track. Cameron's off the track. He just overtook Owen going into turn 1, and now he had a little bit of a wiggle off of turn 2, and that sent him off the track. No damage for the Williams, but he lost that position on Owen, and that was crucial time that was just lost for Cameron Searle. He was moving through the pack slowly but surely and might have been able to get the DRS off of Daryl when it was going to be active, but now he's got to do some makeup work, and now that time Owen goes off the track, and Cameron is able to overtake him again, but it's 1.8 seconds to Daryl, 1.8 seconds to the salvation of DRS.
Sorry, Tim. There was contact between Nitrogash and Mikey. Nothing bad, but Mikey went to the back of Nitrogash just a brief moment. I think there's some technical issues with Mikey's car because he's doesn't look like he's controlled it correctly, but Ginger Tiger's challenging him at the minute. It's going side moments, two in a bed moment between Ginger Tiger and Mikey. Mikey's struggling. Mikey is absolutely struggling, Tim, and dropping himself down to 9.
And that's a shame for Mikey there in the Ferrari. So Ginger Tiger moves up into the 8th position. Mikey 9th, Speed Queen 80 in 10th. MDJ in 11th there. So MDJ and Cameron, after that sprint race, are tied in the points of 250 points for both of them to Rudo's 289, a 29-point gap. So MDJ dropping down to 10th place now, or no, Mikey dropping down to 11th as MDJ moves into 10th place. Got it a little reverse there, but MDJ slowly trying to make moves here after a very horrendous sprint race. But we were talking earlier about how you can score points outside of the top 10, so I'm going to take this time and explain it. Cameron Searle, if this race were to finish right now and he were to finish, keyword finish, in 14th place, he would still score points. The reason is that the Performance League in the Invictus Racing League rewards points a little bit differently. As long as you finish the race, you will score points, even if you are outside the top 10. But, again, you do have to finish the race. No DNFs, no wrecks, nothing like that. You have to finish the race as Cameron Searle overtakes ARL for the 13th position. So that can be a saving grace in a championship battle. Oh, Bruce Lee Harding side by side with Joe Hamster. Bruce Lee Harding going into first place. Wow, what a fantastic move there.
But not yet, Joe! Joe's going to get around the outside now at turn 4. Can he try and hold on? No, Bruce has gone back. Will Joe do the old switcheroo? Into turn 5, into turn 6. No, Bruce is pulling away like no man's business now for first place, Tim.
So Bruce decided that enough was enough and got around Joe Hamster. So Bruce Lee Harding in first, Joe Hamster second, Cassidy putting pressure on Joe Hamster, but he is in third at the moment. Mercked on those hard tires, finds himself in 4th, and Rudo in 5th place, just half a second back. Now, we do got DRS active now, so you're going to see some moves being made here, maybe a little bit of risk being taken, but wondering what Rudo's going to do, because riding in 5th place right now, as long as he stays close to Bruce and Joe and to Cassidy, he should be okay. He doesn't have to make any moves through the pack here, and I think that he's really just trying to give Merck a little bit of distance, let these top 4 guys fight it out, and maybe pick up the pieces afterwards.
Absolutely, and while we watch that, I think Rudo might have a chance to try and get this championship sealed and dusted to this evening, but he's challenging Merck for 4th. Speed Queen got herself ahead of Ginger Tiger in 8th. Daryl's getting close to Mikey in 11th now, so, and MDJ is not missed about, he's made the move into 9th, just inside at turn 5, but look at this, Mikey and Daryl, we've got a train, choo-choo, along the way, Tim.
Well, this can help and also hurt Cameron Searle. If he times it right, he can get a benefit from it here, but he's got to find his way around Daryl, Mikey, and Ginger Tiger, and then he can sort of, of sorts, lock himself to the back of MDJ with that DRS and try to make his way through the pack. And wow, almost pushing Daryl around Mikey to try to give him that position there was Cameron, and it helped Daryl, did not help Cameron, but I see what he was trying to do there. Of course, there wasn't contact, but he's just trying to find a way around him, and now he is going to have an opportunity as we've got a battle for second between Cassidy and Joe Hamster.
Joe!
And Joe spun around.
Joe spun. Joe has spun. I don't think there was any contact between Cassidy and Joe. His back end must have been gone. So Joe Hamster has dropped himself all the way down to 9th, Tim.
And that is very close to Cameron and MDJ. In fact, MDJ just ahead of Joe Hamster now in the 8th position, so that did help MDJ just a little bit. Cameron, though, still is lagging behind Daryl here. 6 laps on those hard tires after he pitted under that safety car, so he's got slightly fresher tires than everyone in this field, and there was about a third of the drivers or so. Oh, some contact. Actually. Daryl. Ooh, so what happened there? I think Cameron actually got into the back of Daryl, and then that put him into the back of the car ahead of him. So a chain reaction there, if I saw it correctly.
I think it looked like Daryl tried to brake, but unfortunately, I think broke a little bit too early. And because of that, there was a bit of contact. I will double check. I will apologise if I got that completely wrong, but that looked like a little bit different to what I've seen there, Tim.
Well, we'll see if Cameron goes into the pits. So no pit stop for Cameron, so no wing damage if there was contact. And, well, if there wasn't, then doesn't matter anyway. But Joe Hamster in 9th place, Cameron Searle in 10th. So Joe Hamster a second behind MDJ. No DRS for him, though. Oh, he might be able to get it going into turn 4. It's going to be very close, but that rear wing does not open on that McLaren. But it does open for Cameron Searle, so he is getting closer to Joe Hamster. Cameron's quick, but he has got to make up a lot of spots. And I know that we're focusing a lot on him, but that's because this is insane what has happened. He had a great sprint race, then he spun on the first lap, and now he's playing catch-up this whole race while his competitor, Rudo, quite comfortably sets in P4, putting pressure on Merck in 3rd.
Absolutely, and Daryl has spun. At, I think that was turn 7. I think it was turn 7. He lost out completely, so Daryl all the way down to 17th. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, the track is getting, well, the clouds are getting even dark. Are we expecting any rain, Tim?
I don't know, but that would throw a spanner into the works. It is certainly getting dark, but the only thing that would affect if it's not going to rain would be track temperature. All the same, if rain does happen, Malk, that's going to really hurt these driver strategies.
Absolutely. Sula says, looks like Cameron has damage. Daryl has got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. And the yellow flag's at the 3. I've done it. That was into the pits. And Daryl has left. And retired in the pits, I believe. Tim, he has retired in the pits.
Yeah, and that is a shame for Daryl. Just really an awful race for this entire time. Just could not find his way through the pack. But watching Cameron here, trying to check out and see if he does have some damage. I can't see it at the moment. Of course, we're looking at the helicopter view. I think that both of the end plates are there, but you could be right, as he is lagging a little bit behind Joe Hamster. There could be just a little bit of damage that we're not seeing.
Yeah, it could be, you rightly say, it might be the damage that we cannot see on screen, but it looks like everything's fine from our point of view, but it could be different based on the battles that we're seeing. Yellow flag set to 2, that is, I think that's Daryl, yeah, that is Daryl's ghost car. And here we go. We might have a battle for Merck. Cassidy for 2nd place. Merck is getting close to turn 4. Can't make the move just yet. Bruce is holding on. But look at Rudo. Rudo is on a mission here, Tim. He is on a mission, and he could be the Drivers' Championship winner with 1 race to go. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, the track looks like it's going into those conditions of a muggy, wet conditions, which could put an absolute spanner of the works.
Well, it is definitely muggy out there, but at the moment, not seeing any raindrops as we ride on board with Rudo in the 4th position. But you know, the second that we see those raindrops, those heads in those cars are going to be spinning, just wondering, all right, when are we going to pit? Now, these drivers, of course, they have access to the weather forecast, unlike we do, so they are better informed than we are. All the same, it doesn't tell you when the perfect lap to pit is. It has suggestions, but that's it.
Absolutely. And Merck, Cassidy has lost out to 2nd place to Merck, but Rudo is also getting close. Speed Queen moves up to 6th ahead of SFR Martin. And there's a 3-car battle, Tim. SFR Martin, MDJ chasing Speed Queen. We might have a 3-to-bed moment. SFR Martin making the move on the inside line. Oh, turn 4. It looks like Oh my days. Oh my god, we've got 4 cars, Tim. Speed Queen's going to go on the inside line. Oh my gosh, she couldn't make the move on the inside line. And, oh my days, wheel banging moments between herself and SFR Martin. What a battle we are seeing so far. Come on to turn 10, Tim.
And Speed Queen will not concede that position and
Oh,
does find her way around SFR Martin. Move her up into the 6th position. Now let's take a look at Rudo, who was putting a lot of pressure on Cassidy through that sector of the racetrack as well while that battle was going on, but he finds himself about a 1/10 of a second behind him, right on his gearbox as he's using the DRS to get around him now on the outside, side by side, not for long. Rudo P3 now.
So Rudo is in P3, and MDJ's gone ahead of SFR Martin. So that is crucial for MDJ, but not enough. Not enough. But look at this. Cameron is behind the 2 McLarens in 10th.
Right there on the back of Joe Hamster, so this could be an opportunity for Cameron to gain a little bit, but wow, Joe Hamster a lot better exit, and look at how much he is losing in this DRS train. Cameron should not be losing that much, so I think that whoever mentioned it was right. There is some damage on that wing. And meanwhile, the McLarens were side by side briefly. Joe Hamster gets the better of that deal. P8 for him, P9 for SFR Martin. And of course, MDJ, the third of 4 championship competitors in 7th place.
Yeah, so this, again, as it stands, Tim, as it stands, Rudo will be the Drivers' Championship winner with 1 race to go. That is the crucial point of it all. Everything is in plan, but anything could happen in F1. Daryl says rear wing and diffuser damage. What a night in an upside down face moment. I'm so sorry, Daryl. We was wondering what was going on, but we tried our best to see what happened.
And Cameron dives into the pits.
And also, sorry, Tim. Joe and Cameron are going to the pits, as you just said. For Cameron.
We were watching it at the same time now because we know how crucial this is now. Cameron, he's trying to get the undercut on his competitors, and that's the best thing that he can hope for. Like you said, Rudo being in P3, if the race ended right now, he would win. So Cameron needs to find a way to get up there. But of course, I think we just saw a wing change. So if there was damage on that front wing, then, well, the undercut's not going to do much of a benefit for him.
Absolutely not, absolutely not. We're coming up to the halfway marker now. Dallas has got hit from behind by Cameron, I think, which put me in... Oh, okay. You was right there, Tim. You know, when you said the chain reaction of Darryl lost out on that spin at turn 7. Do you remember that when he lost control? That was what happened.
Seen it 100 times at short tracks, Mal. Just one little mistake going into the corner, one driver misjudges, and all of a sudden you got 3-4 cars wrecked.
Absolutely. But hopefully you don't want to get murked by Bruce. Oh, Bruce, what a move at turn 1. Brilliant stuff. That was the old switcheroo. Oh, what a move. But murked. Oh my days, murked king. Oh my days. Did you see that, Tim? Did you see that?
I did not, but I saw Merck trying to fight back and not really succeeding at it. Bruce Lee Harding holding him off, and Rudo still in P3, not really putting a lot of pressure there on Merck, just kind of riding, watching this battle play out between those two.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they're trying everything they can to put the pressure on. Owen drops down into the pits, Mikey up to 15th. We've got a 3-car battle for first place, and like I said, I was hoping that we was both hoping that it was going to be on to the final race of the season, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, Tim.
Well, the race is not over yet. Lap 16 of 36, just before our halfway mark here today. So, if Rudo does have some issues, we could see this battle continue.
Safety car, Tim. We got a safety car, and I think. That's why. Mikey has lost the front wing after turn 5, and we've got a safety car, Tim.
All right, and MDJ, he's able to get into the pits. Rudo misses the pits. So MDJ potentially has got a bit of an advantage against Rudo. Let's see what happens here, though.
But look at this. Someone's just moved up. It looks like Cassidy. Cassidy pitted, I think, a lap earlier, and he could move up to second. Yeah, he has. He's moved himself up to fifth. Sorry, I do apologise. But I don't know what happened there. It looks like Cassidy just had to stop back a bit. But there's quite a few drivers who are pushing the barriers. And it looks like Bruce and Mert will have to go into the pits. Nitrocash did get into the pits, but the safety car is waiting just before turn 6, Tim.
And I'm watching Rudo. Of course, we know that these drivers are going into the pits. It's just a matter of where are they going to come out after their pit stop. Are they going to be able to maintain their position? At the moment, Nitro Gas 21 seconds behind Rudo, so that's an important gap to start watching. So Bruce Lee, Mert, Rudo making their pit stops now. And this is a very important move with the safety car not really coming out the best of times, I don't think, for Rudo.
Absolutely not. Sumla says Rudo takes the trophy, safety car just screwed it. It kind of has a little bit because obviously you want the championship to be settled on track, don't you? But I think ARL went to... Tim.
He hangs on to third, I think.
Yeah, but look at ARL. Look at ARL in 11th, Tim. I think the team have made an absolute rubbish decision to put themselves into the soft conditions, Tim.
Yeah, that's not going to work. We got ARL and Mikey, all of those guys on soft tires. Not sure what's going on there.
I think there was a technical fault from the team, so I don't know why they put him into the softs, so he's going to have to go onto the mediums. Hope that he'll go into the mediums or the hard tyres. Yeah, so he's on the medium tyre now. Now, this is where everything is playful now. Rudo drops down to 4th, Nigel Gash in 3rd, MDJ in 7th, Cameron in 10th. Do you want to do the points as it is now, or do you want me to wait to the end, Tim?
Well, Malk, that is certainly your forte because I can't do the math, so I'm going to leave that in your capable hands.
What would you like me to do? Would you like me to give you
I would love to know the points, Malk, because, you know, Rudo being in 4th place, he, if the race ended right now, he would not win the championship tonight. But, you know, like you said, Nitro Gash 3rd, Rudo 4th, and then MBJ in 7th, Cameron in 10th. With this safety car bunching the field up, this has brought our championship competitors within 5-6 cars of each other.
Absolutely. 17. So at the moment, Rudo will be on 306. Rudo will be on 306. MDJ, 264. As it stands, Cameron, 11 points will be 261. And yeah, Bruce has got the fastest lap, remember. Bruce has got the fastest lap, so that's 26 points. 2.6, 262. So at the moment, Bruce will move up to 3rd. Cameron drops down to 4th. MDJ will keep in 2nd, but those three will be out. Of the championship of the drivers. Kerr has got a 5-second penalty for speeding, but also retired in the pits, Tim.
So unfortunate for Kerr, but I think that we're going to see the safety car come in this lap, and if so, that's going to be a 17-lap shootout to the finish. So Nitro Gash in 3rd, Merck 2nd place, Bruce Lee Harding going to be the control car. Rudo chasing those 3 drivers, trying to get by at least one of them, because the 3rd place finish would seal the deal and seal that championship.
Yeah, at the moment, I just can't see that MDJ will be 42 points the gap with a maximum of 36. So that's the possibility that Rudo, if he keeps it like that, will be the Drivers' Championship winner of this season. But here we go, guys. We'll be back up to live racing from Bruce's point of view. When will he blink, Tim? When will he blink?
Swerving, trying to get some heat in those tires. And he goes. Does not get the best of starts, though, but looks like he's able to stretch it out a little bit down the straightaway. Then Merck picks up that slipstream and brings him right to the back of that Mercedes. We are racing, and it's side by side behind him as Rudo was trying to get around Nitro Gas, not able to do so, and Bruce Lee Harding holds off Merck out of turn 3 as they race to turn 4. Merc trying to make a move on him, though. Really dove down to the inside and now goes around the outside. Bruce Lee Harding on the inside, a side-by-side battle, but Merc clears him off of turn 4, and the Aston Martin leads on those medium tires.
That's brilliant from Mert. That's brilliant from Mert. We've got a battle between Cameron and Joe. Cameron trying to make the move onto Joe Amster in 9th. Can't do anything about it at the minute. Still holding on for dear life, Tim.
Cameron very close to the back of Joe Hamster through that corner, trying desperately to keep momentum through these tight little corners until he can get a run. Oh, and that might be the opportunity he was looking for, but Joe Hamster shuts the door on him. It looked for a moment like Cameron was going to be able to at least have a look underneath the McLaren, but thought better of it. Up the hill now, and let's see if he can use the slipstream to his advantage. Remember, no DRS yet, so as much as he would love it, Cameron cannot use that DRS as Mert sets the fastest lap, a 111.486.
He doesn't need it. He does not need it to go some moment at turn 1. Oh, can he buy one, get one free offer at McLaren? Oh, he did one. He hasn't got the get one free offer yet. He's going to try and do it again. Can he try and do it again on the second McLaren? No, but also it looks like Ginger Tiger and Joe Amster going side-by-side moments at turn 4. They've got to be careful at turn 5 because that's where casualties can look. Oh my God, that could have been catastrophic moments there, Tim.
And Cameron right on the back of SFR Martin for the 8th position. Oh, and we got a yellow
Speed
flag
Queen
in
spun.
Sector 2.
I don't know what happened there, but Speed Queen has, I think she had contact. I think she had contact with one of the drivers, and now all the way down to 15.
And Cameron goes underneath the SFR Martin side by side, Will banging off the corner. Now Martin on the inside. Cameron, though, finds momentum on the outside and gets the overtake done over Martin. Now it is MDJ and Cameron Searle, 2 championship competitors tied going into the feature race today after the sprint, 250 points apiece. They're chasing Rudo in 4th place, and if the race were to end right now, Rudo would not have the championship.
We'll wait and see, though, Tim. We'll have to wait and see. Oh!
Cassidy off track. That lets MDJ and Cameron Searle by. What I'm wondering, though, did Cassidy let those drivers by knowing that that's the championship battle? As Cameron now makes his way underneath of MDJ, he moves into the 5th position. Rudo in 4th, Cameron Searle in 5th, and MDJ in 6th. Cameron, though, 2.2 seconds behind Rudo. He has got to chase that AlphaTaurian. It's not going to help him that Rudo has got DRS off of Nitro Gash. Rudo can really use that to his advantage, work with Nitro Gash, and essentially have him use him as a tow. Nitro Gash is in a Mercedes. He's in a faster car, so theoretically, that could work in Rudo's favor.
It could work, but the way it looks at the minute, it could be anything that catastrophic moments. Mikey's getting so close to Owen for 11th. Ginger Tiger trying to hold on for dear life in 7th, trying to catch up to MDJ in 6th, but Cassidy and SFR Martin and Joe Amster, the 2 McLarens, in 9th and 10th, chasing. But Cameron, he's not messing about, Tim. He has got the fastest lap of the race with 1:10.724. With Owen. Owen going to go around the outside. We can't. The 2 McLarens are holding on. Oh my God. Oh, who's that? That was, I think that was Owen who lost the back end. The 2 McLarens, it looks like Joe Amster trying to use that DRS, but Esteban Martin using all that ERS. Can't do anything about it at turn 4. And I tell you what, unbelievable stuff going on here at the Brazilian Grand Prix, Tim.
Yeah, Owen was definitely singing Deja Vu there through turn 2, but he hang on to it. Fantastic car control. And, you know, this is an insane battle back here for 13th position as Speed Queen 80 goes underneath Sir Spud. Although I think Sir Spud might have actually let her go there. Now Sir Spud and ARL are fighting side by side. Owen in P12 now, but let's go back to Rudo, Cameron, and MDJ. So Cameron right on the back of Rudo now, and this is exactly where he needs to be. Rudo is 1.6 seconds now behind Nitro Gash. Cameron Searle, he's going to have the DRS on Rudo. This is the championship battle. Now, Cameron Searle, he doesn't just have to get by Rudo. He is essentially got to have the best finish possible and hope that Rudo has the worst. But this is a fantastic fight nonetheless. Cameron Searle, older tires, older mediums, but the faster compound. He's got the DRS, but Rudo looking a lot faster down that straightaway.
Absolutely, and Sula said Cameron has to do 22 laps of those mediums. Oh my God, Mikey, going to go on the inside line of Martin for 10th and made the move stick. But SFO Martin is not happy that he lost the position. He will hopefully get back. But I have to go back to Cameron now. Cameron against Rudo. This is pressure moments, Tim. This is absolute pressure moments. Look at Cameron. He wants to make this move done as soon as possible, and it's pressure with about 13 laps. 13 laps.
He gets the move done up the hill, though.
And Cameron makes the move up to 4th now.
But did he time it right, Malk? Did he time it right, or did he give Rudo the DRS? He gave Rudo the DRS, so Rudo gets back by him.
But remember, if Cameron holds on, he will have the DRS coming back into after turn 3 as long as he gets a good exit. Oh my God, look at him! He's right at the back! He's right at the back of Rudo! But he will have the DRS. But he should make that move done as soon as possible there, Tim.
And he gets the move done in a turn at number 4. The question is, though, will Cameron be able to pull away from Rudo?
It's a big question, though, Tim, but Rudo is not messing about. All he has to do is put the pressure on Cameron. That's all he has to do. Put the pressure on him, and he doesn't have to worry about it. Cameron is the one that's under a lot of pressure. He needs the points, Tim. He needs the points. He's already considering that the maximum points you could have is 36, 35, 36. Rudo before the race was 39 points ahead of their next competitors. So Cameron needs to get a lot more points than Rudo to stand any fighting chance of a finale ending.
And what a finale ending it could be, but lap 26 of 36, so 11 laps to go here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Merck leads over Bruce Lee Harding, 2.3 seconds between those two. Nitro Gas 7/10 of a second behind Bruce in third, but you are watching the battle for fourth between Cameron and Rudo, who are the top two in this championship battle. Of course, MDJ tied for second with Cameron, so he's back there in 7th as well. So we got 3 drivers in the top 2. Well, figure out how that one works. But Cameron is leading them all on track, but Rudo leading them in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll do the constructors later. Oh my days, Spud went way wide before ARL closed the gap into 14th place, but unbelievable stuff. If you like what we've seen so far, hit that like button, guys. We've got 10 laps to go. Hit that like button. If you like what we've seen so far, please make sure you like subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help. Again, massive help to myself, Malk, and to Tim for the commentary, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. Hit that like button, guys. Thank you.
So now we've gotten to the point of the race to where it's really just starting to get strung out, and you know, Cameron, he has at least got a chance here to finish in front of Rudo, take the fight to the final race of the season. But I don't think that we're going to see a lot of, I guess how you say, catastrophic moments here unless we get a safety car. We get a safety car, then that's going to bunch everyone up. You're going to see these guys, you know, dive into the pits for some soft tires. It's going to be a massive shootout to the finish. But at the moment, I think that everyone's just sort of riding, trying to stay calm, trying to keep it clean, because Cameron knows that if the race ends right now, he at least has a shot. But if he makes a mistake, that could go away.
Absolutely. But look at this. Rudo in 5th will be 16 points. That's 305. 305 for Rudo. Cameron on 267. So it's still, wherever happens, it will be settled unless Rudo make a massive mistake, and I can't see that happening. He's been really consistent this season, and Speed Queen got himself up to 9th. Joe Hamilton drops down to 10th. And Nigel Gash, out of nowhere, Tim, has got the chance to move himself to 2nd.
Bruce Lee Harding, P2 Nitro Gas, P3, 2 Mercedes drivers. Let's see which one is going to win out on this little battle. Now, Merck, he is the leader, 3 seconds ahead of these drivers, so not really a factor at the moment. You can just see the Aston Martin up there, but 10 laps on those medium tires so far, and he is making them work. It's very, very solidly, but 10 laps and 11 laps respectively on the hard tires of these Mercedes, and look at Cameron right on the back of Nitro Gas now.
I told you, Cameron is he's an alien. He's an alien driving because he's insane.
Oh, he gets loose into the corner, hangs on to it though, and he's still going to keep the DRS up the hill.
Was that commentator's curse, Tim? Did I say something on that, Tim?
I don't know. I think Cameron's just trying to do a little bit of square dancing here.
A bit of a wiggle moments now. Side-by-side moments with MDJ and Custody. Custody will move up to 7. And he has done with that DRS, but will MDJ know? I thought he was going to try and hold on to the inside line, but Speed Queen lurking at the back in 9th place, Tim.
So Cameron moves into 3rd around Nitro Gas. Now his next driver to get around, Bruce Lee Harding. Now, it begs the question. Cameron is obviously quick, but he's got older tires than Merck. Older tires than, it looks like, every driver in this field. So, if and when he gets by Bruce Lee Harding, does he even stand a chance of catching Merck? Or can he just write that out the window? Obviously, you know he's going to try. You have to try. But realistically, could it happen? 3.3 seconds. If they were on even tires, maybe. But at the moment, I'm not sure.
No. To be honest, the mediums should last just over the halfway marker, and normally it's like 18 laps, but they're already at the limiter, Tim. They're already at the limiter, but he's got to do another 6 laps unless there's another safety car. And Mike has got himself into the pits from 12 laps of those softs. The 12 laps of those softs. Cameron can't afford to lose out too much positions, but either way, Rudder needs to lose out on positions, and MDJ needs to step up again if he wants to try and challenge for the championship, Tim.
Yeah, and watching that interval, the last lap they were able to keep it fairly consistent from 3.2, 3.3, but now it's dropped down to 3.5 seconds, and Cameron, I think, is quicker than Bruce. It's just he's not able to find his way around him. So Cameron needs to get around Bruce, maybe be the car ahead, and they could work together, try to catch Merck. But again, you know, it is a long shot unless it's a safety car.
Safety car, Tim. I don't know what happened there, actually. I don't know what actually happened. Let's have a look. Mikey has got a front wing damage, Tim. That is why we've got another safety car.
So Merck pits.
Everyone should be pitting.
Everyone else is going to do. Yeah, everyone should be pitting. Bruce Lee does not pit.
Not.
Bruce Lee Harding staying out. Cameron Searle pits.
Nigel Gash stays out. Rudo pits, Tim. Rudo pits. Everyone else between 3rd and 9th have all pitted. MDJ. Oh no, Joe Amster's kept out. Joe Amster's kept out. Oh my God.
Owen's kept out as well. So Owen is fighting with Merck. Well, sort of fighting, but Owen does get 4th place. Merck in 5th. So pretty much from 5th on back, those drivers pitted. But Bruce, Nitro Gas, Joe Hamster, and Owen, all of those drivers stayed out. So that is a 4-car buffer from Merck place, or from Merck to 1st place.
From Merck to 1st place. Is that you got Mercked with that?
I said Mercked place, so I mean, you know, maybe that's just another number that we haven't discovered yet.
It's out of range, mate. It's out of range with the Merc.
I'm living in the year 3000 over here, Malk. Okay, you just don't understand.
You don't want to get busted, mate. You do not want to get busted with that. To be fair.
Yeah, they'll take away my flux capacitor.
Oh, don't do it, mate. Don't do it. Don't use the DeLorean, mate. We need these predictions already to find out who's going to win the championship. Tim, who do you think will happen? Do you think Rudder will do it? Do you think Rudder will do it, or do you think there'll be more shocks along the way?
Do I think Rudder will do it, or do I think Rudder will do it tonight?
Do
I
it
think
tonight.
I think that answers your question. Do it
Yeah.
tonight? No.
Yeah. No. You say no.
No.
Okay. Okay. But remember though, he's already 39 points ahead of Cameron and also MDJ before the feature. That was after the sprint, and this is before the feature. So either way, whatever happens, Ruddo, 14 points, 303, Ruddo. Cameron, 303, sorry, I'm just trying to get the 303. Cameron with 6th place will be 15 points, 265. So 38. It's not possible. Sula says, how many sets of tyres has Cameron has left? I have no idea, mate. I think this could be the limiter. He should be all right though. That's the main thing. But I just can't see it unless Ruddo really bottles it now. I can't see that happening, Tim.
So, if I get this right, to have even a mathematical chance, Cameron Searle has to gain at least 2 positions here, while Ruddo doesn't gain any, and or Ruddo loses 2 positions.
So at the moment, Cameron is on 15, so 16, 17, 20. Obviously, 3rd best if Ruddo stays in 7th, just to stand any chance. But Cameron has to do the big one. And when I say the big one, he has to do the full shebang. Basically, first in every sprint, feature, and also the 2 fastest laps. That is not going to happen. I just can't see that happening, especially if Ruddo is there as well next week. Tim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, of course, theoretically possible. But yeah, definitely a long shot here for Cameron Searle. So, more or less, we could be seeing this championship decided. All the same, we are still going to have a race or about 3-lap shootout to run here to decide it all before we get the final answer of whether or not this championship is taken to the next week. But all the same, I do want to say to every driver, not just Ruddo, Cameron, MDJ, every single driver, hats off to you. It has been a fantastic season. It has been fantastic racing, and whether the championship is decided tonight or whether it's decided next week, it has certainly been amazing to watch. And we're going to take a look now at Nitro Gash in P2, just behind Bruce Lee Harding. Bruce Lee Harding is the control car, gets to decide when we go back racing, as long as it's before the start-finish line, and, of course, after the safety car pulls away. And with 3 laps to go, the championship could be decided here. The race will be decided, but what we don't know yet is who's going to be standing on the top spot of which podium at the end of the race.
Who knows, Tim? Who knows? Here we go. At the Brazilian Grand Prix now. Can Bruce do what he did before and have a good head start against Nigel Gash? Or will he be the one to make a silly mistake and make Nigel Gash to win the Brazilian Grand Prix? We're off now, Tim. We're now off. Oh my God, we've got 3 in the bed. 4 in the bed moments at turn 1 now, Tim.
And Cameron Searle on the outside of that kerfluffle, and Ruddo in P6 just behind him. They get through. MDJ does not, down to 10 now, and we've got a car, I think that was Owen that spun off. So Owen spun off through turns 1 and 2. So Ruddo in 6th place, Cameron Searle now in 5th.
No, I think there was a crash, Tim, that after that 4 in the bed moment. 4 in the bed, Tim. 4 in the bed moment. Brilliant stuff.
Well, it sounds like the driver certainly had some fun going into turn number 1, but now it is calmed down as Merck looking around the inside now of Joe Hamster. Will Bangin trying to get by him. Some contact. Oh, and now it's Merck that spins around, and Cameron trying to find his way around Joe Hamster now.
And he's crashed, Tim. He has crashed. I don't think we get another safety car now because we're near the end of the race, Tim.
Yeah, it's too close to the end, but I bet that Cameron wishes that there was some DRS. He would at least stand a chance, but at the moment, if I'm correct, Cameron will not be able to take this championship fight to the next week as he gets by Joe Hamster, but Rudo is going to try to follow him through. Now Rudo trying to get by Cameron Searle into turn number 1, almost 3 wide, but it's not. It's 2 wide between Joe Hamster and Rudo. Behind him, though, Rudo into 4th place, Joe Hamster down to 5th. Cameron Searle sails away into P3. Now he's got his sights set on Nitro Gash.
Contact, Ginger Tiger and Joe Hamster had a clash at turn 3, Tim.
So Cameron Searle, he can see Bruce and Nitro Gash just ahead of him, 0.7 of a second between him and Nitro Gash. And it's 2 laps to go. It's going to have to be a last lap pass. But remember, Rudo, he's not completely out of contention either, but he is 1.1 seconds behind Cameron. So this is Cameron's best shot. Mal, have you done the math of what happens if Cameron wins? As he goes underneath Nitro Gash, contact between the two. Will Bane, Cameron is giving it his all. Nitro Gash, though, he is not letting him get away with that. And wow, Cameron, well, there was some contact between the two, and I think Nitro Gash spun off. So now going up the hill, Bruce and Cameron, it's going to be 1 lap to go. Is DRS going to be active this time? Will Cameron have an opportunity in turn number 4 to get around Bruce Lee Hardy?
I can't see that happening, but there was contact between Cameron and Nitro Gash at turn 12, so that'll have to be checked by stewards as well. So I don't know why, like, there was definite contact there, but Cameron could win. Cameron could win the Brazilian Grand Prix. He's got the move ahead of Bruce. But remember, Bruce and Rudo, they're both teammates. Will Bruce let Rudo through? We just let him hold on in 3rd there, Tim.
Well, you know that Bruce is most likely going to be letting Rudo through, knowing that that championship is on the line. Not sure where the points are going to fall if Cameron finishes as 1st and Rudo in 2nd, but I believe that the championship would go to Rudo. But if it's 1st and 3rd, still not really sure on that one, but we will get that at the end. All the same, Cameron Searle leads by a second over Bruce Lee Harding. This is the final lap, and Rudo might be able to find a way around his teammate, but Cameron Searle at least is going to have a fantastic recovery and drive to victory here in the Brazilian Grand Prix, as long as he makes it through one tiny little kink of a corner. And there we go, Cameron Searle, a fantastic drive in. Bruce does let Rudo by to finish in P2.
Oh.
Does that mean that Rudo's the champion?
Well, double check, Tim. I think that is more likely the drivers and also the constructors. Let me just clarify that quickly while you mention about the updates so far. It's just been one hell of a... Cameron did an absolute stellar job to get himself into 1st and did everything he could, but Rudo is just on a different planet at the minute, and we will get the points properly for you guys. Just bear with us a sec. I am going to try and do the calculations for you mathematically in a moment or two. So bear with us a sec, guys. We're just waiting for the classification to come up, and then we'll do that for you.
And it's going to be very quick interviews here as we're running a little bit short on time. But we do want to talk to Cameron and Rudo as well as... Oh my goodness, that was just a fantastic race. But yes, as well as Bruce Lee Harding there in 2nd. So it is Cameron who is able to recover and win this race. Rudo in 2nd place, Bruce Lee Harding in 3rd there, so my apologies, I switched them around. And then 4th place, Scasty. 5th place is Speed Queen 80, MDJ in 6th, Joe Hamster in 7th. 8th is Merc, 9th is Martin, Sir Spud in 10th, Ginger Tiger in 11th, 12th is ARL, Keza in 13th, 14th, Mikey Nitro Gash in 15th, 16th is Owen Kuh in 17th, 18th is Daryl. Malk, what do you got for us?
I'm just doing it now, Tim. I am just doing it now. Just bear with a sec. MDJ, where are you? In 5th. 25, 22, 20, 17, 16 points. There. Bruce, 220. And Nitros, I think it was on 11, so that's 10 points. So, 309, 311. 311 for Rudo. MDJ 266, Cameron 276. So yeah, Rudo has won the championship, and this is quick math, by the way, so I might get it wrong unless there's been any other penalties that I've not mentioned about. Spud says, Tim, I finished 8th, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but As far as we're concerned, I think Rudo has won the championship of the drivers. I'm just going to quickly do the constructors as quickly as possible while you do the interviews, Tim.
Yeah, I'm curious what happened there. Maybe I got it wrong. Sorry, Sir Spud. But so let's start with Cameron. Cameron, a fantastic recovery from you, but it's starting to look like it still was not enough. Tell us about your race all the same.
It was a recovery drive. Yeah, it was a shame. I just got pinched on lap one, turn two by Keza. Obviously, it pushed him into the barrier. I broke my wing, but yeah, at that point I was just trying to chill, calm down, and just get to the end. I think after the sprint race, it was kind of over championship wise.
Well, you still put in an honest effort and took it down to the very end of this race all the same, even to the final safety car. And sadly, like we said, it's not enough, but congratulations all the same on the win in the Brazilian Grand Prix and for giving us one hell of a show this season.
I mean, that is what I promised at the start, so.
Fair enough.
At the very least, we put on a show for you guys.
Well, you certainly did. Congratulations on the win. Now we'll talk to Rudo in P2. And if the information that we're hearing is correct, Rudo, you are the driver's champion. Congratulations. Or is Rudo not with us?
He's not here. He's had to leg it really quickly. So.
Okay. Well, so we can't even talk to the champion this week. All right. Well, we'll talk to him next week. Well, we got MDJ in here. Do we have Bruce Lee Harding? We can talk to Bruce before we go to MDJ if he's in here.
Hello, I'm here.
All right, so Bruce, it's P3 for you. Your teammate getting P2 but not able to join the interviews. It looked like you let him by there for the sake of the team and for the Drivers' Championship, but you had a fantastic race nonetheless yourself. So how were you able to hang on for the entire race in the top 3, top 5 positions?
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate. Yeah, to be honest, it was a case of I think I'd have been overtaken by a few guys there a bit earlier if it wasn't for that late safety car, because Cam was catching me anyway. There's nowhere to got near Merck, so it sort of lucked into it a little bit. But just sort of staying consistent through the race was the main thing. But yeah, I mean, Sai had so much overspeed on me with the DRS on that last lap as well. Even if I didn't want to let him pass, he'd have still got past me anyway, so it sort of made no difference. But we've been playing this sort of team game all year where, I've sort of given him sort of no fight really when he's coming past me, just to sort of maximise as much as he can get.
Well, it's a fantastic drive for you and third place. Congratulations. And
Cheers,
now we'll talk to MDJ. So MDJ, looking like you can still fight for second place in the championship standings, but sadly that championship is out of your grasp. But tell us about your season overall anyway, because you were very dominant early on.
I think my luck in the beginning of the season was on spot. The pace was there, the luck was there. Like I was on great position, starting from last, going to first. But then from the second half of the season, it kind of just faded away, and I got into a lot more incidents, both my and others' fault. But this is not Stewart's, so it's a shame after leading the championship in the first half of the season, and then losing at the last 4-5 races, and then seeing someone else like Rudo win the championship. It's a shame. It's put a tear on me, but it is what it is.
Well, I suppose that there's always next season if you want to rejoin, but all the same, it's been a fantastic season for you. You've had wins, you've had good finishes, a little bit of heartbreak here too, but congratulations all the same. And that is all the time that we have, but Malk, are you still here with us? All right, so I guess that Mount had to go too. So thank you to everyone that watched. Thank you to all the drivers.
Sorry, Tim.
Oh, he is here.
Sorry, Tim. I didn't want to put the suspense killing for you for that with the points. Now, I said Ruddo 311, Cameron 276. Now, if you do the math correctly, I think that's 35 points. So, it's still, I would still say it will go towards Ruddo unless Ruddo has zilch points, which he has never got unless he had that. I think Ruddo has been confirmed unless there's anything changed. But this is quick math, by the way, so I might be wrong. So I do apologise to Cameron if I get it completely wrong, and to Ruddo and to anyone else. But I know that the Constructors has definitely won between Ruddo and Bruce tonight with 560. I think Cameron IRL with Andre Moray with 475. And it's a massive gap now, so there's no chance of the Constructors. So I know Ruddo and Bruce, well done to them, they have won the Constructors, but I think it's 35 points the gap. So again, I do say Ruddo has definitely got two hands on the championship, but it's very tough whatever happens on the drivers. Tim.
Well then.
But that's quick math. So I'll get that completely wrong, and I'll put my hands up if I get that completely wrong. For that.
Yeah, and
but
Cameron's actually just
math.
told us that Ruddo needs double DNF, and he needs a perfect week just to win it on countback. So it does still seem like it's going to Ruddo, and if that is officially the case, of course that will be determined after any stewards' inquiries and stuff later on in the week. But
yeah,
if it is Ruddo, congratulations to him.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to Cameron if he is there and listening back. So I do apologise for that. It was just the quick math, by the way. So I do apologise for that. I thought Ruddo has a ARL. It's a shame of a race. No pace, no luck. My worst track. So I guess I'll take it with final push in Portugal. Unbelievable, Tim.
Very, very unbelievable. And it's been a fantastic season. We still got one race to go. Even if the championship's wrapped up, that race is not. But it's all the time that we have. Thank you to everyone that watched. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. And congratulations to the top 3 finishers. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Brazilian Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.
Cheers for that, guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.